अपने इंडिया में लाइफ कोच का कल्चर नॉर्म नहीं है. लाइफ कोच, व्हाट्स दैट अबाउट?
Life coach only has one job, which is to help you gain more clarity about your life so that you can take actions that help you produce better results.
So basically, do you think अभी के मतलब बच्चे लोग ये सारी चीज में ज्यादा जा रहे हैं, मतलब के different activities rather than just studying?
So it most definitely is a huge chunk of the people that get into this fun stuff and all of that. Because it is now easier than ever to consume dopamine. Whether it's you scrolling through social media, you consuming intoxicating substances. So these all cheap sources of dopamine make it very difficult for you to focus.
What's the thing with engineers, man?
अब्बा नहीं मानेंगे.
You know, they are doing something else rather than engineering.
There are a lot of people that did engineering and they took those 4 years to introspect. When I was in college, I had tried open mics, I had tried public speaking, stand-up comedy. I am now doing something that is completely not related to engineering.
What's the difference between a fixed mindset and growth mindset?
So the best way to go from a fixed mindset to growth mindset.
What do you have some suggestions for young parents?
Number one is understanding your child, this subject or this interest or XYZ. This is something that my child really enjoys. Then it's about feeding more of that to the child. Good academics does not necessarily mean good future.
But dumb people make a lot of money rather than a smart one.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it's easy to believe in stuff when you are dumb. So when you really believe in something, you will speak with conviction, you will speak with confidence. That confidence, it attracts people more.
How do you stay productive?
A productive person will first cut those distractions out कि ये मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं अपने पास. And then they will focus on the signal.
What I have seen is mostly the people like us, you know, who wants to achieve a lot of things, usually suffers in relationships or something like that, whether it's friendship or love life. So you have like a different bar, right? Love, friendship, career and stuff. If you're too high on one thing, then definitely you need to be low on others. How do you deal with that?
Two ways.
यहाँ पे है ना, अपने इंडिया में लाइफ कोच का वो थोड़ा ऐसा कल्चर नॉर्म नहीं है. मोस्टली फॉरेन में वो यहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा ऐसा करते हैं कि भाई ठीक है लाइफ कोच हो, वो सारी चीज़ें, थेरेपी को भी लोग समझते हैं. बट नाउ इन इंडिया पीपल आर स्टिल ओके विद द थेरेपी स्टफ, बट लाइफ कोच, व्हाट्स दैट अबाउट?
So a lot of people assume there is this misconception that a life coach knows everything. That's not true.
Yes.
A life coach only has one job, which is to help you gain more clarity about your life so that you can take actions that help you produce better results.
Got it.
So it's not my job to give you knowledge. Knowledge, sure, there are life coaches that have their own sessions, seminars, and a life coach can do that. But a pure life coach, he or she has just one job to ensure that whatever hurdle, whatever obstacle you have, there is a solution to it, and you have that solution is just buried deep within your subconscious mind.
Makes sense.
And the life coach's job is to make sure that the solution that is buried, he takes it out from you through asking powerful questions. And the more questions, because the quality of your life, every decision you make or the life that you're living, the questions you ask yourself, right, they determine the results that you produce. For example, if you ask yourself, okay, how can I make 10,000 a month? You'll make 10,000 a month. If you ask yourself, how can I make 1 crore a month? You'll make 1 crore a month, but not immediately, but eventually.
So basically the small steps that what needs to be done. So
yes.
that's why you come in, right? So you guide them. Got it. So how did you come with this all things, man? How did you start it, basically? Your studies and some background?
So back when I was in college,
okay,
I was pursuing mechanical engineering.
Every engineer doesn't become engineer.
Yeah, so I was pursuing mechanical engineering, and while pursuing mechanical engineering, I was working with this non-profit organization called Make a Difference. And over there, my job was to be a life coach for children that were in 11th and 12th. And they did not call it a life coaching position. They call it mentoring. They called it a wingman.
Okay.
Right. So I was a wingman for one child in my first year as a volunteer. And then I got him placed in his desired college. And then I got the responsibility to become a fellow. So when I was a volunteer, I had a fellow above me and he was looking over all of the volunteers and making sure that they do their job. After I did my job, I was promoted to become a fellow. And now I had the responsibility of 12 children. So I got all of them placed, and that part of my college life was the most fulfilling part of my college life. So that is why eventually it circled back. I did not pursue it right away. I did a job in sales in the middle. And then a lot of things happened, but somewhere or the other, it pulled me. Okay, I want to do something like this. And then I ended up becoming a life coach.
Makes sense, man. Where did you study? Is it in
B.Tech
Ahmedabad or no, the schooling, basically?
My schooling was in Delhi Public School, Bhopal.
Bhopal, okay. And then after you pursued, did you do commerce or science or
Science.
engineering?
Science.
So basically science, yeah. What's the thing with engineers, man? Because a lot of engineers ended up in Bollywood. A lot of engineers, I think, they are doing something else rather than engineering.
Here's my take on it.
Yeah.
So I feel initially, Indian minds had this perception that become an engineer, it's a very safe bet. You'll make a good career out of it. So because of that, you may or may not be pulled by engineering. But your father or your mother were like, okay, you know what? Become an engineer, you'll be successful. Become an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, become one of these things and you'll become successful. And that happened. And because of that conformist pressure, because even the people around you, right? Even they are like, okay, you know what? I'm doing engineering. So because of that huge wave, there are a lot of people that did engineering, but they were not actually pulled by it. And they took those 4 years to introspect, reflect, like you, like me, right? We used those 4 years to kind of, sure, we were doing engineering, but we were doing, for example, when I was in college, I tried open mics. I tried public speaking, stand-up comedy. I was a part of this non-profit organization as well. And I did a lot of other things. And these other things, I enjoyed them significantly more than what I was studying. So I believe as a result of that, I am now doing something that is completely not related to engineering.
Makes sense.
So that's my take on it.
So basically, do you think अभी के मतलब बच्चे लोग ये सारी चीज़ में ज़्यादा जा रहे हैं, मतलब के different activities rather than just studying, or is it like they want to do fun? आपके क्लास में, आपके बैच में भी होंगे ना, that you think that you're talking about is like top 1% who will be doing different kind of things rather than most of the engineers. They're having fun, smoking stuff and just chilling out and that kind of thing.
So it most definitely is a huge chunk of the people that get into this fun stuff and all of that. And it's because it is now easier than ever to consume dopamine.
Very true.
And it is in all forms. Right? Whether it's you scrolling through social media, you consuming intoxicating substances, or just having junk food. So these all cheap sources of dopamine make it very difficult for you to focus. And I believe today, focusing is a superpower.
Very true.
And if you can understand how you can cope up with this dopamine-rich economy that we have created, you will become very successful. And also, if you realize what are your strengths that separate you from everyone else, and how can you utilize those strengths to provide significant outcomes in this world, it is impossible for you to not become successful.
Makes sense. So mostly, the coaching stuff that you said that you did on the side while studying led you to this thing, right? Life coach. So how often do you, are doing this thing? Basically a full-time job, or is it like just like NGO stuff right now, or you're getting paid from it, or what kind of thing?
So I did my fair bit of life coaching. I had my life coaching clients as well initially, but then I felt that I don't want to do one-on-ones anymore. I mean, I still do them if I get them, but I don't actively seek them out anymore.
Okay.
Because my strength and even the results that I produce, they are better when I'm doing one-to-many.
Okay.
Because of the synergy that is created when people are in my session. So the energy completely elevates. If it's a one-on-one session, sure, it's you, it's me. We have a deep conversation. But if it's one to many, the entire energy of the session elevates. Okay. So which is why I now prefer doing one to many sessions, and I'm building an organization to help young minds, right? When I say young minds, I mean above 10 years. And I'm helping whatever I have learned as a life coach, whether it's from, my life coaching organization, which is Master My Life, or from Tony Robbins, or from, the person that has taught me the most in terms of public speaking, neuro-linguistic programming. So that is Yash Vasant, right? I've learned a great deal from him too. So whatever I have learned from a lot of these sources, I now channelize it into my own organization called Elite School of Life, wherein I help young minds gain more clarity, confidence, and essential life skills that are crucial for them to build an extraordinary life.
So do you partner with schools, or is it like a different thing from school?
I have conducted a lot of sessions with schools and colleges.
Okay.
And I am looking to partner up with them, but I haven't as such partnered up with anyone yet, because right now I'm in a pilot phase.
Okay.
Wherein I've launched things, I am getting a lot of good feedback, and the children are loving it. They are growing. The parents see an improvement, but it's still not based on my standards. I still feel that there is some room that I need to cover. Once I feel that I'm in that spot, I'm going to start scaling it up significantly faster.
Okay. So what's going on in like 10 years old kid, right? So what's in their mind? So why do they need training or something? Like we don't have, right? So अपने जमाने में तो ऐसा कुछ था ही नहीं कि भाई घूमते रहते थे, करते रहते थे अपने हिसाब से सारी चीजें.
हाँ, बट अपने जमाने में distractions भी उतने नहीं थे.
बात सही है.
अपने जमाने में options इतने नहीं थे जितने आज है. So today they can do whatever they want. There is no restriction compared to what we had before. So because of that, and plus the exposure to screens, the exposure to, so many distractions, it has altered their brain significantly. So a 10-year-old compared to, let's say 10 years ago, is significantly different in terms of their ability to concentrate and focus. And initially it was significantly more because distraction nahi tha utna. Right now, if a child is growing up, they have their parents holding their phone, just doing something or the other. So now the child learns through imitation. आप जो बोलोगे वो बच्चा नहीं करेगा.
Definitely.
आप जो करोगे वो बच्चा करेगा.
टैब रख के खिला रहे हो.
Exactly. Right. So the child will now want to consume more of that. And as a result, when they consume more of that, so I'll not tell the name of the organization that does this, but what they do is that to produce these videos for children, they make a child sit in front of the screen and they are playing it. And the moment the child turns, the baby turns its head, they change the scene so that it's now looking at the screen again. And they design their entire content system to be so engaging that the child becomes glued to the screen, and it's highly addicting. And because of that, children are now used to this highly engaging stuff. So now boring stuff, something that's even just a conversation, you'll be speaking and you'll feel that they are paying attention at one point of time, but then they'll just doze off, and you won't even realize that they are dozing off. They have now drifted away somewhere else. So because of that, now the sessions have to be more engaging. The sessions need to now incorporate tools, techniques, principles that make it more fun, make it more engaging, and make it easier for them to pay attention. So that's what we are doing at Elite School of Life.
Okay. And the company you are saying, I know the name, millions of views, definitely.
100%. But I don't want to.
Yeah, we are not endorsing them anyways. And people say that I have ADHD. Okay, attention नहीं दे पाता, कर ही नहीं पा रहा, but mostly it's due to a lot of different reasons rather than just simply saying that I have ADHD. Makes sense, man.
So ADHD as a label is very negative in the sense, for example, if you adopt it, आपने मान लिया कि मुझे ADHD है. Now 100% a lot of people are labeled as that, and they have it to a very large extent, and they need to incorporate a lot of different tools, techniques and principles to cope up with it. But a lot of people throw this term around. And even when you just label yourself, okay, I have this, it heavily affects your mind in a very negative manner. So these labels, for example, if you don't have it, and I label you that you have it, then that will create a very massive shift in your identity. And as a result, even though you might not have it, you might start leaning towards it. So this labeling, we have to use very carefully.
Makes sense. The atomic habits, right, to yourself makes a lot of difference.
Absolutely, yeah.
Suppose if you want to quit smoking, then you need to believe that you are not a smoker first. And then after, your subconscious mind will get that, okay, sorry, that I'm not a smoker. And, basically, most of things that happens is like, when I started studying in my university when I was in Australia, I was not that great of a children that I used to top. But then after I had that self-belief, which happens like slowly step by step, right? If you get good marks in your first subject, then after you think it like, okay, I can do better. And in that case, you can pile up. And similarly, it happened with my weight loss as well. First, I was waiting a lot. Then after, I quit around I lose around 50 kgs of weight. So
that's impressive.
Yes, man. And again, 20 more. So
okay.
Yeah. So basically now I'm at 30 or something, but that's the thing that I'm saying. That step by step, people, make sure that they are leveling up. What I was thinking is if you are a life coach, right? So most of people in India, it's a very tough job because people say that, why do you want a life coach? Basically, you can just meet 4 or 5 friends and, you can just chill. And then after, they can guide you through, or, some people who are your younger brother or your older brother or something, they can also help you through. So why does someone specifically need a life coach?
So as such, you don't need a life coach.
Okay. Unless your life is too fucked.
If you don't get a life coach, it's not as if you're going to die. You're not going to die. You're going to be fine. You're going to be alive, because a life coach's job is not to save your life. That's if you're talking about mental things, right? Mental growth and all of that. What therapy does is that it takes you from a negative position to a neutral position.
Okay.
What a life coach does is that it takes you from a neutral position to a growth mode. So if you're in a bad position, if nobody helps you, you'll become worse. So you need a therapist. But if you're in a neutral position and nobody comes to you, you're gonna stay there. So do you need a life coach? Well, that depends. Do you want your life to stay the same? If yes, then you don't need a life coach. Do you want your life to grow? Do you want to become a better person? Do you want to grow in life in different areas of your life, whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever? Then you need a life coach.
And how exactly life coach helps them?
So we have this process called CODAP.
Okay.
Right. So at first, we just connect with each other. We understand what exactly is it that you are looking for, and whether or not I'll be able to help you get that outcome. So that's the first step. Now, once we have decided that, yes, I can help you, then we set outcomes. What exactly is it that you are looking to get out of the life coaching process? And we set specific measures that how will we know whether or not we have achieved that outcome. So we set a sort of measurement that we decide. Okay. And then we go into discovery. Right. So we get into conversation. I ask you some questions. You give me some answers. Based on the answers you give me, I ask more questions. So there is this thing called 7 layers deep. So for example, if I ask you whatever problem you have, I ask, why do you have this problem? Right. So now you'll give me a level 1 answer.
Surface level.
And then I'll tackle that again and I'll ask, why this? Then you'll go in deeper. That's level 2. I'll ask you something correlated to that again, and you'll give me an answer. That's level 3. And we go 7 levels deep. So when we do that, you are now at the core of it. This is the root cause of your problem. And if you are able to address that, you get the solution.
The problem with this is, most of people are not aware. Basically, a lot of my friends, if I ask something, friends have deep conversation, right? So when I sit there and then basically it is like that. I was like, why? है ऐसा ही है कहने का मतलब. So how do you go deeper into that? Because some people are not that self-aware basically.
So the reason that your friend is staying on the surface is because he knows that if he goes deeper, when you are going deeper, you are becoming more vulnerable.
They are not open to that.
Yes, and they are not open to being vulnerable probably in front of you, or because see, it's not like you're the only friend. They have multiple friends. You have a network, right? So you might share this with other people, and he does not want that, or she does not want that. So as a result, we create these barriers, and we don't go in deeper with our friends as much as we go compared to, let's say, our life coach. So as soon as I begin the session, I share this with them, that whatever you say in this session, it is going to be confidential, and I am not going to share this with anyone.
Okay.
So when that happens, you now become significantly more comfortable, and you feel so much more safe that, okay, this is not going anywhere. It's just between us.
Okay.
So when that happens, when you have that bond and you have that safe space, people are now significantly more open to opening up. And this happens when they have voluntarily chosen to be life coached. अगर किसी ने आपको force किया कि नहीं तू life coach का session ले, then you will have that wall and barrier up. Because you don't know the other person. It's just,
they'll be too defensive.
Exactly. So you cannot force. Similarly, and I believe it's same with any practice, whether it's therapy, life coaching. For it to work, you need to first believe in it. If you're not open to it, it's not going to work. It's not a magic pill. So that's the precondition.
Okay. So what usually I do when, I need to get some tough decisions or some tough questions I need to ask, I say something about me that is not wrong, right? Something vulnerable about me, that I have went through this and, it happened to me like that. So, the person that, you're talking to, they also open up and okay, man, this guy is all right. He's also sharing stuff. Then, I also need to. So do you do that as well?
No.
So my stuff is completely confidential, is it?
Yeah, so most of the time I don't, because that's not my job and it creates a bias.
Okay.
If I shared my experience that is correlated to their experience, it's not life coaching anymore. You can say that now it's mentoring, because now it's a bias. My story that I share with the other person will create a bias in their mind that if I produce this result, then they can produce a similar result. So now it is now going to be similar. It's not going to be something that is completely of their own. Right? So to avoid those biases, a proper pure life coaching session will not involve me as a life coach sharing my story to the other person.
So basically, if a 21-year-old, like, so you are also young, wants something, getting coached or something like that. So why do they come to you? Basically, most of the life coach, the perception is like they will be like around 40 or something, much more highly experienced stuff, having white beard or something like that. I don't know. It's the first picture that comes to the mind, right? So do you tackle that thing a lot? Basically, if you're young and, people question your experience.
So I'm one of India's youngest life coaches. And I use that as a statement of pride.
Of course.
And I use that as a statement of reaffirmation that, okay, you know what? Me being young has nothing to do with me being a good or bad life coach. It's a skill-based thing. Someone can be 50 years old and adopt life coaching, and they do not have the natural ability to become a life coach. They will not become a good life coach. They'll be a terrible person to be a proper life coach. Life coaching simply means that you have the ability to listen deeply. Number one, after listening deeply, have the ability to decipher whatever the other person said and go deeper, right? Number two, and finally, by discovering that knowledge, ask the right question so that we are now closer towards our outcome. If you can do these three things, you can become a life coach. Doesn't matter whether you are a 13-year-old person or you are a 30-year-old person or you are a 45-year-old person. So it's a skill, right? And you can develop it for sure, but it is less about age and more about skill.
Makes sense. So basically, if someone who's listening to this right now, if they don't want to hire someone as a life coach, or they just want to be themselves, be more aware regarding it, so what kind of advice do you have for them?
So they just want to be more aware.
Yes, regarding what my goal wants to be. Basically, you bring clarity, right? So they want to do the same thing, but just alone. That's what I'm saying.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you follow this and you do this diligently, regularly, with intensity, without telling any lie or any BS to yourself, you don't need a life coach. Okay. So first and foremost, understand where you are. Understand yourself as deeply as possible. Who are you? What is your identity? What are your skills and strengths that separate you from everyone else? Okay. And what are your values as a person? So your values guide your decision-making process. If, for example, if you make a decision, many times ऐसा होता है, आपने observe किया होगा कि आपने कोई decision लिया and वो decision लेने के बाद you were not comfortable with yourself. You felt कि यार मैंने गलत किया. Why? Because that decision was not aligned with your value system. Somebody else in that position would take that decision happily and have a good, peaceful 8 hours of sleep. Why? Because it is aligned with their value system. So understanding what is your value system, right? Whether you are, you prioritize the other person, you prioritize, health, you prioritize abundance. What exactly is it that you prioritize? Okay. And then being really brutally honest about what are your shortcomings. What is that one thing that you are probably struggling with that is stopping you from moving ahead in life? We all have bad habits, and those bad habits stop us. So what is your habit that is stopping you? Is it you being too distracted? You consuming a lot of social media, alcohol, porn? What is it? Right? Figure that out and actually take an effort. Even sometimes effort is not enough, but you need to wire yourself in such a way that you change your environment such that it becomes really hard for you to indulge in that habit. For example, if you have a habit of smoking on a very regular basis, there's a big chance, let's say if you live alone, you have packets of cigarette lying around, or you have a circle that you hang out with and they smoke too. So if you are in an environment that promotes that thing or makes it very easy for you to do that thing, you are going to do that thing again and again and again. So first and foremost, it's about changing your environment, whether you need to cut yourself off from that friend circle, or you need to move to a different place. You need to change your environment, whatever it is that you need to do, take that action. And sometimes you might relapse. That's okay. But are you better than before? That's the number one thing, right? So that's the first part. Understanding who you are and what are your shortcomings. Okay. Then the next step is, what is your dream life? If I give you 10 years and you need to create the best life possible, you will die after those 10 years. What will you do? What kind of life will you create now? Do you have a house, or how many houses do you have? What car do you drive? Do you have a partner? Do you have a circle? And if yes, what are the things they do? What are they into? What are their values? What are their interests? Okay. So that is your 10-year goal. Okay. Now, after that, I don't recommend that you create a 5-year goal or a 3-year goal or even a 1-year goal. No. So that is the direction you want to move in. Now, what is the next level of your life? By the way, people that are millionaires or even billionaires, even they don't plan the stuff that's in the middle. They don't. Outcome, what is the next step? That's it. Because if you plan like 10 steps ahead, there's a big chance that on the second step, circumstances change. So you now again have to rewire and change your entire plan. Not viable. Okay, so what is the next step? Next step for you in your current scenario, right? Once you achieve that next step, then you think about the next step. Then you think about the next step. So that is how you should go about your entire life. And if you diligently do this, every day you ask yourself, okay, what is the outcome that I want to achieve today? What great thing do I want to achieve today? Right? And you follow that and you avoid your pitfalls and all of that. Daily review, weekly review, monthly review, quarterly review, and yearly review. You do that on a very regular basis, you will not need a life coach.
So basically, you are saying that mostly millionaires and everything, they don't plan the middle stuff.
No.
They just have the target.
Most of them. Most of them.
Yeah. So they have that. Suppose I want to make $100 million, just for example. So do I need to baby step it, right? So it's like, let's get the first million, then after 10 millions, and then after 50, and then after 100. Or instead, you just need to get that I need this much. I need to work it out.
So I'll explain this better and in a simpler manner. How many people set New Year resolutions? Everyone, basically.
Everyone, yeah.
How many of them achieve it? Basically, no one.
Very true.
Why? Because 1 year is a very long time frame. And in the beginning, you are very motivated that, oh, you know what, I'm going to hit the gym every day. I'm going to eat clean. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop doing X, Y, Z, A, B, C. That is what you are in the beginning for the first month. Why? Because you had that momentum, you had that energy. And after the first month, your motivation dwindles. And you still have 90% of that path left, more than 90%. So you can't maintain it.
And you need discipline.
Right? But let's say, if you decide, forget the entire year, let's focus on the next 3 months, January, February, March. And you have that motivation going on. Now, that same process, you are now, if that is your time frame, you are now 1/3 of the way there. 33.33% of your job is done. Okay, only 2/3 is left. So now your motivation is significantly more because now you can actually see the end. But if you set a year-long goal and you are at the first month, you can't even see the end. So since you can, we talk about the light at the end of the tunnel. If it's visible, you'll go towards it. But if you feel it's not visible, you'll stop trying. So to make sure that happens, don't set year-long goals at all. Too far away. I mean, you can, but don't just chase that. Cut it down and focus on the 3-month goal.
Okay.
And then what is your weekly progress? Week by week, bit by bit. The way you eat an elephant is not by eating it fully. You cut it into pieces. So that's what
why you need to plan the middle stuff, right? Basically.
You can plan, but there are most definitely 95% of the time it's going to change.
Okay. But the first 3 months you planned, right? So I want to do this thing. Something comes up. Like, your mom is out of state. Now you need to cook, or now you need to do something else, basically. But, things happen. So that's why I had the same thing that you're saying, that cut it down into the small baby steps and then after, achieve it. Because right now what we are living is like motivation is very cheap. You can just go to YouTube and find a lot of people motivating you stuff. You watch David Goggins and you are like motivated, and then after you don't do anything. So why has that happened? Why discipline is so hard rather than, motivation?
Because people don't understand the basis of energy. The basis of your energy, people think, okay, externally aapne kuch cheeze kar li. Okay, that's fine. But eventually you'll go back to the same old patterns that you have been following. Why? Because again, that's how your mind is wired. So you need to break those patterns and you need to take actions that help you break those patterns. The bigger the action, the more likely the scenario that you break that pattern. For example, let's say you want to become fit. Okay. Small action, I will start working out at home only, in my room only on a daily basis. Have you been working out in your room on a daily basis? No. The environment you are in decides the actions that you do. So since you are not habituated to taking that action in that room on a regular basis, guess what? Eventually you'll go back to the same old version of you. So that's level 1 action. A level 2 action would be, I join a gym, right? And you'll observe if someone joins a gym, they go there for 1 month and then they stop. Okay. So even that is not foolproof. Then what's a deeper level? Level 3 is you join a gym and you have a trainer. You paid 12 months full. Or don't even do 12 months, do 3 months first. Okay. Now that's level 3 because now you are more invested, right? So that's level 3 and you are doing it more often. So now the likelihood of you changing your pattern increases significantly because now you are not working out in your room. It's not the same environment. It's a different environment. You are not alone. Initially you were trying alone. Now you have someone that is trained and has already proved to produce that outcome. So that is how you break that pattern. Okay. It's not necessary for you to hire a trainer. I'm just giving you an example. And similarly, if you hire a life coach, they can help you achieve something similar. Break that pattern. And if you can break that pattern yourself, for example, during wartime, I think it was America versus Vietnam. a lot of soldiers got addicted to, I think that was heroin. Right?
Yeah.
And 90 or 95% of them, when they came back home, they stopped that habit. When in fact, heroin is highly addictive. Significantly more addictive than smoking or, even marijuana, for example. Right? But why did that happen? Because now they are in a completely different environment. Initially, they were stressed. They were in a life and death situation. Now they are at their home. So the environment is completely different and they don't want to be that person with their family. Right? So because their environment changed, it had a huge break in their patterns.
Got it.
Right? And if you observe, the best way to change or grow, change your city or change your house. You do that and if you change your city, you're changing everything. You're changing your circle that you hung around with. You're changing your house. You're changing your locality, your habits. Everything will now need to be redone. So that is one of the best ways. That's the best pattern interrupt ever. And that is why you also observe when people go out, they are now a completely different person and they come back, they feel completely different. You feel like they've changed so much. Because this is a massive pattern interrupt and they need to develop themselves from scratch again.
Same thing happened to me, man. Before, when I was in Ahmedabad, I was a very lazy kid, not studying well, eating a lot of junk food. And when I went to Australia, things changed. Because, man, in their lunchtime, they also go for a run. How crazy is that? I was like, man, really? At 2 p.m. or 1 p.m., people are going for a run. It's basic, man. Good. And then after, I went to the gym, started working out. Had a gym buddy, basically, not a trainer. So that's also if you want to have a cheaper option, then make friends with someone 100%. Who is, much ahead than you, basically. Have a good body or something like that in my case. And, learned a lot of new things. And then after, that's how I lost like around 40, 50 kgs.
Crazy.
Yes, man. It's brilliant stuff. But the things that you are saying is very on point, man. I really resonate with that thing. So do you have any particular author that you like a lot, means you read a lot of kind of books?
So I really like Atomic Habits. James Clear is someone that I really admire, and the way he has built that entire, system of habits that I really enjoy. Apart from that, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Really enjoy that. Darius Farooq's, he has this book called The Stoic Path of Wealth or to Wealth. So I really resonate with his work as well. Apart from that, Robert Greene. And I've learned from Tony Robbins as well. So Tony Robbins is also one of my favorites that I really enjoy reading. So these are a few authors that I really resonate with.
And if someone wants to change their life, so what kind of books do you recommend?
I feel books are a very good entry point, but they're not enough for most people. Sure, some people do really well and they apply all of that. I think if you really want to change your life, go to seminars, go to workshops and actually experience what the other person has to offer practically. Sure, if you want to change your life, for example, one book that has had a very massive impact on me is How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself. And it's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And the reason I believe it worked is because it's not just about reading, but it's also about applying. So unless you are not applying stuff, it's not going to happen. So I started meditating on a very regular basis because of that book. And that too, the meditations that were mentioned in that book. So if you're reading something and it inspires you to take action and you're able to follow through on that action, definitely that book is wonderful. But apart from that, for example, I have read Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, cover to cover. And then I have attended his Unleash the Power Within workshop as well, which was for 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
That 4-day workshop absolutely changed my life compared to the book. The book was nothing compared to what I experienced in that seminar. And I have created my own version of it and I give it to students and all of that, and I get amazing feedback. Reading alone would not have made this possible. So if you can experience something that actually creates, for example, go join a coaching program, or just, or it doesn't have to be a life coaching program, a business coaching program, or any other thing that makes you actually experience stuff. It's not just you reading and consuming knowledge, but you actually going out there and experiencing it. That is going to create the most amount of difference in your life.
So for the people who are listening, who don't know Tony Robbins, who is it?
Tony Robbins is one of world's greatest business and life transformation coach / strategist. He's also many times considered to be the world's greatest public speaker. And he has helped more than 100 million people transform their business, their life, their relationships, the way they communicate, all of that. So that's Tony Robbins.
Yes, man. He's been in the business like 30 years or more. Big guy. You met in person? Do you meet him?
In person, as in have I shook his hand? No.
Okay. But like around some distance.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen, he's on the stage. Yeah. I'm in the audience. He's doing his stuff.
Like...
and yeah, man, he is massive. It's crazy. And before his sessions, I was not as energetic. I was not as much in control of my emotions as well. But now my control, my energy, all of it has shot up significantly. So most definitely these sessions, these seminars, these programs, they have a massive impact on you. And to share a little bit more about my experience, it was a 4-day experience. On the first day, he just helps you channelize your mental state. How can you tap into a powerful state? So there are 2 types of states, right? Whether it's mental or emotional state. So there is a powerful state or a beautiful state wherein you feel energetic, you feel enthusiastic, and you are in a state of production. You want to give, you are happy, and you are living your life in the best way possible when you are in that state. You are taking the right actions. So that is a powerful state. Then there is a suffering state. In that suffering state, the actions you take, they are not powerful. They pull you down. They might have a lot of negative consequences. And that's all because you are in a wrong state of mind. You are in a wrong emotional state. So how do you tap into that right emotional state, into a powerful state? So he first teaches that. I learned that. And then there's this thing called firewalk. So in firewalk, what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to walk on coals, burning coals. Right? And you're not supposed to walk very fast. You're not supposed to walk very slow. Okay? So you're supposed to tap into that state, and then you're supposed to do that firewalk. And then over 14,000, 15,000 people did that firewalk. And by the end of that firewalk, people are literally waiting with cold water, and they spray it on your legs right after you're done walking, and you're supposed to, just stomp your feet. And then you're supposed to celebrate after that, you know what, I accomplished this firewalk. And this firewalk is a representation of all of the obstacles you face in your life. And if you're in the wrong state, you are either gonna walk too fast, and you might trip, and you might burn more compared to otherwise. If you walk too slow, obviously you're gonna burn yourself. So having that right pace, being in the right state of mind, doing the right things, and then celebrating whenever you accomplish that feat or you overcome that obstacle, that is something that truly empowers you, right? So that's the first day. On day 2 and day 3, there is a lot of uncovering of your beliefs that are holding you back and building the beliefs that actually empower you. Once you understand that, okay, these are the beliefs that are disempowering me, that are pulling me down, and these are the beliefs that I need to have instead. He makes you do an activity. And in that activity, you go through something what I call an emotional death. So what happens is that mentally you are feeling so much pain, and you are attaching that pain to that negative belief. And as a result, that force, that pain, it breaks that belief. After that, you're supposed to attach joy to that powerful belief that you want to have to grow in life. And once you attach that and you celebrate, right? So when I did that activity, I was on my knees. I was crying. There were tears. I was literally screaming as well because of the pain. And he does all of that through neuro-linguistic programming, or as he now likes to call it, neuroactive conditioning. That's his terminology, because he's made some changes, right? And I did that. And after that, I feel like once you go through that, now you're supposed to experience the highest of highs. And you are supposed to attach that joy to those positive beliefs. And that is, in a way, a rebirth, right? So you die, you emotionally die, and then you have an emotional rebirth because you are now having so much joy, so much energy, and you're attaching that to your positive belief. So that is when the transformation happens and you become a new version of yourself. So that is the entire 4-day, Tony Robbins program. I mean, day 3 is the most important. Day 4 is just a little bit of, now that you're going out in the world, what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to take care of yourself? Things of that nature.
You went to Germany, right? Basically, you specially went there for this workshop, or were you there and then after you attended it, or what kind of thing?
So I went there for this workshop, and I was actually sponsored by my mentor. Yeah. So he sponsored me the ticket, and I was really grateful to him because he sponsored it to me. And so I've mentioned his name before, Yash Vasant. And to tell you a little bit more about him, he's the executive director of BNI Ahmedabad. And the reason BNI Ahmedabad, I think I shared this with you before as well, it is the largest BNI region in the entire world. That's because of his ability to lead, to tell amazing stories, guide people, teach people, mentor people. And I learned public speaking from him, right? And after learning it from him, I took it to different heights. I became a renowned speaker, and he was really proud of me. So as a token of appreciation for taking his learnings and actually applying them on a very deep level, he gave this gift to me. That man, I have learned from him, and this program has changed my life tremendously. I hope it changes your life too. Okay. And it did. So yeah.
How much does it cost to go there?
Just the program?
So basically, if someone wants to plan this kind of workshop, let's say it's Dubai, Australia, or some other places.
So if they're going in Germany, a silver ticket will cost them around 750 euros, which is like 75, a little more than 75,000, 77, 78,000. A gold ticket would be, at that point in time, was 1,000 euros. So that's like a lakh, right? So depending on that, and apart from that, travel, stay, all of that. If you live in a hostel and you curb your expenses and flight tickets and all of that from India, flight tickets would be 70,000, go and come, right, to and fro. And living expenses, if you're just going for that, for that, I think you could manage it in 30K as well.
So around 2 lakhs something, right? Basically
1.7 to 2.5 lakhs. Yeah.
Got it. And what does it have to offer? If you are spending this kind of money, it completely changes your life, or is it like, it's a very powerful statement? That's why.
It absolutely elevates you as a person. It gives you the power that was hidden inside of you, but you weren't even aware that it is inside of you.
What was in your case?
So in my case, I already was this speaker and all, but I would say I was comparatively lazy.
Okay.
I was not as active. Even though I was performing well, it's not like I was performing bad. But this, it helps you tap into a whole new level.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's amazing.
So you said 4 days was epic. Okay. It costs around 2 lakh rupees, but it completely changes your life.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely worth it. You said like 4 days, every day was divided into different things. Okay. So day 1 was basically just knowing your beliefs and what do you believe in and what is it?
So day 1 is primarily about state management.
Okay.
How do you just control your emotional state?
Okay.
And how, for example, okay, I want you to do an activity with me right now.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Tony shares a story about this exact thing. So before we do that activity, I'll just share that story with you.
Got it.
Now, Tony goes on stage and he shares that, okay, you know what? I wanted to learn golf and I hired this instructor. Now, they are both swinging. Now, since Tony is this huge, massive, bulky dude, he's swinging and his ball is going very far. And even his trainer's ball is not reaching that far.
Yeah.
So now Tony is mocking him. Bro, what? You're supposed to be my trainer, right? And yet you can't hit that far.
Yeah.
So now his trainer is like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you
who I am.
Right? And then he takes him to the real course.
Okay.
Now both of them are hitting. Now the trainer is hitting the ball right in line, perfect direction. Tony's ball now
left, right
is sometimes 50 feet off, 100 feet off, 150 feet off, 200 feet off.
Oh.
And now he's in trouble. Now he asks him, man, what's happening? What do I do? Why is my ball 50, 100, 150, 200 feet off? So now his trainer tells him that your life is not 50, that your ball is not 50, 100, 150 or 200 feet off. It's just 2 millimeters off.
Really?
Just 2 millimeters. And those 2 millimeters are not over there.
It's right here.
They're over here. So just this 2 millimeter here and there will produce a 50, 100, 150 to 200 feet difference over there. And that 2 millimeters, now this is not a story about golf. This is a story about your life. So this 50, 100, 200 feet is nothing but the energy with which you move forward in life. Right? And how do you adjust and how do you maintain that energy? So just do this activity with me. Right? Put this on your sternum. Right? Ekdam beach mein. You'll feel, And just put it 2 millimeters, not 2 up, just 2 millimeters up. Right? And now just come closer to your mic and keep it up and just stay there. And let me ask you, how do you feel?
I'm feeling a bit different, definitely.
What are you feeling?
I'm feeling much more relaxed, basically.
Much more relaxed?
Yeah.
And you feel much more confident.
Because I'm sitting straight, that's why. Yeah.
So what this is that it's a simple physiological change. Okay? Your physiology is, as Tony explains it, it's your body language plus biochemistry.
Okay.
So if you change your body language, your biochemistry changes. For example, if you now describe a lazy person, they're sitting on their couch, their back is humped, right? That
completely like this and stuff like that. When you sit straight,
correct,
you're more confident.
Exactly. And if you describe a confident or active person, they're standing upright, their chest is up.
Yeah.
What is that? That's a basic physiological change. You start maintaining this, you start changing this, your entire energy shifts. Now the conversations you are going to have, if your chest is just 2 millimeters up, they are going to be more confident. They are going to be more energetic. The work that you do, right? If you are doing that with energy, with this positive, proper energy, that's going to be better. But then again, physiology is just one part of it. There are 3 total parts. Number 1, physiology. Number 2, focus. Right? So focus means whatever you are doing, on what part of it are you focusing? Is it good or is it bad? For example, there are 2 people laying bricks.
Okay.
One person goes up to them and asks person A, what are you doing? And he's dull, he's not that energetic, he's not that enthusiastic. He says, I'm laying bricks. He goes to person B. He asks him, what are you doing? He says, I'm building a nation.
That's a mindset change, huh?
Right? So that person is focusing on, man, you know what? This work that I'm doing, it is massive. It's really important. It's going to create a massive shift. So he's focusing on the positive. Right? But that other person, he's focusing on the negative. Okay, man, I'm just laying bricks. Doesn't matter. Right? Similarly, if you're doing any sort of work, for example, if I'm having a conversation with you and I approach it, man, this conversation doesn't matter. My answers won't matter. The way I'll speak, it will not be with energy. But if the focus I put to this conversation is, you know what? Through this conversation, a lot of people can get a lot of value. I can change a lot of lives. That is the focus. That is the meaning I give to this conversation. Now the entire energy of this conversation shifts. So that's the meaning or the focus part of it. And third is the language that you use. What language are you using? For example, if you observe in today's day and age, people are now more depressed than ever. People are now facing more negative mental barriers than ever. Why? Because our language has become so negative. Depression as a word is thrown around randomly, right? Instead of saying, oh, I'm sad, people say, oh man, I'm so depressed. You're not depressed, bro.
Yeah.
Your coffee got cold. That's it. Okay.
Completely
There's
true.
nothing depressing about it. You're just sad.
Sad.
Okay. So when you stop using those negative heavy words and you replace them, for example, if even if something very bad happens, instead of saying, oh man, it's terrible, you say, you know what? It's a small hiccup. It'll be done. It becomes a small hiccup and it gets done. Right? Most people, for example, breakup hota hai. What do they say? Arey yaar,
Zindagi barbaad ho gayi.
Zindagi barbaad ho gayi, bro. Are you serious? That one person was your entire life.
Get over it quickly as soon as possible.
Man, you were alive.
Yeah.
You were doing just fine before you met that person.
You can do better after she left. Not a big thing.
Right? So,
Yeah.
by the way, how long does it take for someone to get over a breakup or heartbreak?
It depends on the people, basically. Maybe a month, maybe 6 months, maybe never. God knows.
It takes however long you want it to take. You want to be over them like this?
Next day you are good.
Right? It's just, for example, I'll tell you, there's this one person that broke my heart very badly. And I knew a lot of this stuff and all of that. And the moment I realized that, okay, this is not going to work out, I just said to myself, I'm not going to ever say out her name out loud. I am not going to say that she broke my heart, all of that. I will never say it ever. And before that, I used to. I got over her in the shortest, even though she was the person that I probably was the most in love with. I got over her in the quickest.
Got it.
Why? Because I did not vocalize it. And as soon as I had that thought, I would try and shift that. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to focus on that. I have my own life ahead of me. And as soon as that happened, I just made my mind that, okay, you know what? She broke up with me or she did not choose me because of XYZ reason. I'm going to make sure that the next person that comes, I am so far ahead and I'm so much better than I am that this is not even going to be a thing. So when I had that decision and I took these steps, I got over her in like a week. So it takes however long you want it to take.
So mostly people, what they do is they have like victim mindset. So basically they are like, why did it happen to me, man? She broke up with me. And this and then the pajama face, then after they are roaming around, not dressed well and everything, man, it happened to me, man. What can I do? Then people, the energy is very, transactional. So basically, if I'm with you and I'm crying about a lot of things, your mindset will be like that. And you won't be hanging around with me a lot because you'll be like, man, I don't want to talk to him. He's too into, this kind of thing.
Correct.
So why does this kind of thing happen? Why do people have like a victim mindset?
Because our mind is not meant to thrive. It's meant to survive. So it focuses on the if you want to just survive, whenever something negative happens, just take care of that. Just take care of that and don't put forward any steps towards growing. Problem you solved it, that's it. No actions taken for growth. And when something bad happens, now you are in that state, but you are not going to die if you stay in that state. So because of that, your mind does not put in effort to get out of it. It's okay staying in it. And when you are staying in that, people will also come and please you. People will show you sympathy. Ke, haan yaar, theek hai, ye, wo, XYZ. Right? And people will pay you more attention because of that. And your subconscious mind craves for attention. So it stays in that phase longer. They change when people start to go away. They stop getting attention from that same thing. And now they will change because now they want that attention, but now they know that this thing is not working. Now they have changed. So them now changing is now the new way for them to get that attention. Right? So that's one aspect of it. But then again, it varies from person to person. But if someone is doing this, that means they are prioritizing that attention or whatever they are getting from being in that state over growing. right? And most people that want to grow, they will not let these things affect them because they value their growth, whatever it is that they are chasing, way more than what they are getting by being in this state. So there are 6 human needs, right?
Maslow's hierarchy.
No, that's different.
Okay.
So all of us have these needs, and 4 of them are our personality or primal needs, and 2 of them are our spiritual needs. Okay. So these 4 needs are: number 1, significance; number 2, love and connection; right? Number 3, certainty or security; number 4, uncertainty or variety. Right? So significance can also take a form of attention seeking. Right? For example, love and connection mixed with significance, it will become, let's say, there are negative ways to achieve all of these 4 things, and there are positive ways to achieve all of these 4 things as well. So, for example, if I am staying in that state where I'm negative and all of that, and people are coming more towards me, people are giving me more attention, it's fulfilling a need of mine, which is connection. Through this, more people are giving me attention, and I'm more connected to them. So it's fulfilling a need of mine, a subconscious need of mine, which is why I'm going to stay in that state. And because I prioritize, and all of us prioritize these needs differently based on who we are, right? Because I prioritize this the most, this need that is being fulfilled, I will stay in the state, right? But if I am someone that prioritizes my spiritual needs, so there are 2 spiritual needs. Number 1 is growth. Number 2 is contribution, right? So if I prioritize my spiritual needs, growth and connection, over these needs, I will not be indulging in that behavior. I will not wallow in pain. I will not sit around and just cry. No, I have those needs to take care of. I need to grow. I need to contribute. So these people that have these spiritual needs as a priority, you will not observe them doing, or wallowing in pain, walling themselves in pain or anything like that. So it's about what needs do you prioritize. It's about understanding that.
Makes sense. Most of people have like fixed mindset. So they are the way they are. They don't want to get change and stuff. And there are some people who are like us, more into growth. I want to, learn this thing, start a podcast. It's a different kind of challenge, being not that kind of extrovert, but still doing this kind of things makes a lot of difference to me. So what do you reckon if someone is fixed? No one going to accept that, I'm fixed mindset. But what do you think what's the difference between a fixed mindset and growth mindset, and how someone from the fixed mindset can go into the growth mindset?
So the best way to go from a fixed mindset to growth mindset, absolutely cut yourself off from the current environment you are living in, as I've mentioned before.
It's very difficult, to be honest, but
I never said it's going to be easy. If you expect me to spoon feed stuff to you, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Aasan to nahi hone wala hai. I never said it's going to be easy. It will require you to take action. And the bigger the action you take, the faster you see the results, but it is not going to be easy. And which is why people stay stuck. Because it is not easy, right? The only way people grow is when the pain of remaining the same exceeds the pain of changing. When that point comes, that it is now more painful for you to stay the same and less painful for you to grow, that is the point where you hit a breakthrough and you grow. So for example, someone is spiraling down because they are a certain way. Then they are going to hit a point wherein they have spiraled down so much that it is so painful that they now cannot stay in that state. Now, when they are in that moment, then they will decide that, okay, you know what?
I need to change now.
I need to change. And they will change because now staying the same is more painful than growing. And when they accept that and they adopt that change, they now start spiraling upwards. And they like that. And they now go into that upward spiral, right? Now, what someone can do if they want to go into that growth mindset, right, is go to someone that forces them so that's what happened at the Tony Robbins event as well. He will make you feel that pain. So you are not feeling that pain immediately, but you will feel that pain eventually. So he will future pace you, or that person will future pace you, and you will be in that moment wherein whatever mindset you have, it will lead to a downward spiral. And you focus on the end point of that spiral, and you believe and you visualize that you are already at that end point. You are visually, you have your eyes closed, you are visualizing that, you are listening those sounds, you are feeling those emotions. How are you going to feel if you are at that point? You feel that pain, you intensify that pain, and you just stay in there. And you ask yourself, do you want this life? Repeatedly, do you want this life? Ultimately, the answer is going to come out, no. You do not want that life. You do not want a life wherein you are living a subpar quality of life. You are constantly, let's say, becoming fatter or becoming thinner, whatever your problem is. You are not making the money you want to make. You are not buying the house you want to buy. You're not buying the car, having the relationship you want to have. Why? Because you have these habits, you have these patterns, you have this mindset, and it's spiraling down. You exacerbate that, you extrapolate that, and you look at this outcome. You realize you don't want it, and then you make a decision in that moment that, okay, you know what? I do not want this. I want a life that is filled with X, Y, Z. I want this car, this house, this, that, all of that. And I'm going to be that person that is capable of attracting those things, that is capable of bringing those things into his life. Once you decide that, and you start taking action, and you start growing, and you start acknowledging your growth, you start celebrating your growth, that is the moment you'll change. And that is the moment you'll change your mindset from fixed to growth.
Okay. So basically thinking about the worst case scenario that your life could be.
Don't just think about it.
Okay. And
actually feel it, live it, be there.
Okay.
So think about it. But so nothing's going to happen by just thinking. So actually stay there, stay in it for some time, visualize it. And when I say visualize it, I don't just mean, because see, there are different types of people. Some people are visual, some people are auditory, some people are kinesthetic.
I'm a visual guy.
You're a visual guy, right? Some people are auditory. Auditory people are really good at music, giving speeches, or modulating their voice. That's auditory person. Kinesthetic people are really good at feeling stuff. So the way they will describe an experience, it's going to be in terms of feelings. The way auditory person, the way an auditory person describes an experience is, I heard this, I heard that. The way a visual person will describe his experience is pictures, visuals.
This happened, and
yeah, right? Yeah. So which one are you? Whichever one you are, do that. If you're an auditory person, think about the sounds you are going to hear. What are people going to say when you go to that end point? And experience that very deeply. Experience that for like 5-10 minutes, and then ask yourself, do you genuinely want this? Do you want this life? And once you do this activity really well, you feel that intensity, you will produce a change. Will that last a lifetime? No. Nothing lasts a lifetime. Not even your life. Right?
Yeah.
So eventually, you need to have these realizations again and again. That is how you grow. You need to have this experience again and again. And then when you do that, you will constantly grow, you'll constantly push yourself.
Because there are two things people see. Mostly some people are more towards, what if, like Steve Jobs was, what if I die tomorrow? Will I be appreciating this life, that what I'm doing right now? Or will I be not? And then after there is a lot of no's, then he'll need to change something. And some are more toward positive. They'll see the good things. If I achieve this, if I have this, if suppose I want a Range Rover, then I'll be thinking, then what if I drive one? So, if I visualize it, and then after they have the motivation to get it. So that's a two different pathways. Some gets motivation from the negatives, some get motivations from the positives. Makes a lot of difference. Mostly, why do people are more regarding, I have seen that financially, basically, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve this, rather than they should be thinking like, I want to be this kind of person that suppose, if I want to start podcasting, my reason is not money. My reason is that I want to network to a lot of people. I want to help the community grow. And suppose from this conversation, if some 100 people also watches, I don't care. But that 100 people, if some gets value out of it, that's much more important to me. Yeah. So why is it like that? Why we are more financially driven rather than, thinking about our growth, what I want?
Because finances are more tangible and they are more visible externally. It's a standard metric. How much money are you making? Very standard.
True.
Easily comparable. So now it becomes a metric that people regularly use to compare where they are in life. Is that a correct metric? I don't think so. Right? A person that's making $1 million a year but is unhappy, is about to kill himself in a week, is not a successful person compared to someone that's, let's say, making even $10,000 or something very less comparatively, but he or she is happy. They are happy with their family. Now, do I recommend they stay there? No, obviously aim for growth, aim for becoming a better version of yourself, but not by becoming unhappy and thinking that, okay, by doing this thing, even if that thing makes you unhappy, that is the only way for you to become successful. If you're thinking that, then that's not the case. That's not an extraordinary life. Okay, so I'll tell a story. So there is this guy, let's call him Akash. Now, there was a lie fed to Akash that, okay, you know what, Akash, once you complete 10th standard, you are going to be having an amazing life. You'll party all the time and you'll be happy. You'll be very happy. So he puts in a lot of work and he studies very hard. He completes 10th standard and he is happy for 2 seconds because now 12th is there. So now he studies hard again, right? And he works really hard. He studies really hard and he passes 12th and he's very happy for 2 seconds. Right? And his parents tell him that, okay, you know what? Become a doctor, crack this entrance exam. Once you crack this entrance exam, you'll be in college, you'll be happy. He works really hard. He prepares for that entrance exam. He cracks that entrance exam and he is happy for 2 seconds. Right? And he thought, okay, you know what? I'm in the college, right? I will complete my college. I'll study really hard. I'll become a doctor. And once I become a doctor, I'll be happy. He thinks that. He studies really hard. He becomes a doctor. He becomes happy for 2 seconds. And then he thinks that, okay, you know what? I'll make a lot of money as a doctor. And when I make that money, I'll be happy. He makes the milestone that he decided. He reaches that. And he is happy for 2 seconds. That is the moment he realizes that, oh, I don't want to be happy for 2 seconds. I want to be happy for a lifetime. And becoming a doctor was not the solution for him. For someone else, it most definitely might be the right solution. But the needs that he wanted to be fulfilled, because every one of us prioritize those needs differently. For him, it was doing YouTube. For him, it was creating videos and being more significant, being more famous, XYZ, right? That is what he wanted. That is what his human subconscious mind needed. He pursued that and he enjoyed the entire process of it. He fell in love with the process and he was now happy all the time. Why? Because he did something that was aligned with what his soul, his subconscious truly needed.
But do you think that parenting makes a lot of difference?
100%.
Because
makes all the difference.
Yeah, because most of the parents, they decide for their kids. Like, my kid, we saw in 3 Idiots, right? Engineer banega. So that kind of thing, what do you have some suggestions for young parents or means any parents basically?
So at the end of the day, what parents want is for their child to not fail. That is at the core of it. Now, what parents lack is an understanding of what their child can excel at, number one. And number two, whether or not that thing that their child can excel at, the world will need it. Right? Because if the world does not need it, he's not going to be successful. He's not going to be able to sell himself or his service or his product. right? So number one is understanding your child really well. What drives him, right? And a lot of what drives them stems from the way they were treated as a child by the parent, the circumstances they were brought up in. Okay. And once the parent understands that okay, this is what drives my child, this subject or this interest or XYZ, this is something that my child really enjoys, then it's about feeding more of that to the child. Good academics does not necessarily mean good future. A lot of people go through schooling. Not all of them become successful. Not all of them become happy. Maybe some of them become monetarily successful, but not necessarily happy. So it's very subjective. And if you are really good at something and it is of value to the world, you will make good money.
Simple as that.
Right? So once the parent understands that, okay, this is something that might be in demand in future, whatever their child is good at, that is where the gap gets bridged. But most parents are too busy providing for their family, which is okay, which is not bad at all. Right? Because they are busy providing for that family, they don't have time to actually think about this. That, okay, what's going to happen in the future? They're too busy feeding their child. Paid bharne, how will they get that time? So that's the primary concern is what I feel.
Maslow's hierarchy also defines the same thing, right? That first you need shelter and everything. Then after much more later, it's like self-actualization that, now what do I want? Basically, if we come from the privileged family that, a lot of things are taken care of, then the kids are much into, Papa, I want to follow my passion and this and that. And after everyone understands, okay, if he wants to do it, but if you are not from that family and if you have a struggling family, then it's a completely different thing. You know that I want to do this, but you cannot do some circumstances because you need to provide with the family, as you said. And a lot of things I have seen is like a dumb people make, no offense, but a dumb people make a lot of money rather than a smart one. Have you thought about that?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because they don't overanalyze. They just try stuff. If it works. If it does not work, does not work. They are okay with that. And very smart people overanalyze stuff. Most cases, if we're talking about this specific scenario. And also, I don't think it's about intellect. It's about work ethic. It's about belief. Because if someone's dumb and someone believes in an idea, because it's easy to believe in stuff when you are dumb. So when you really believe in something, you will speak with conviction. You will speak with confidence. And that energy, that confidence
attracts more.
Yeah, it attracts people more. But if you're really intelligent, you'll question it very deeply whether or not this thing is going to work or not. So whenever you are talking about that thing as well to someone, you'll not talk with conviction because your intellect does not let you have that conviction. So when you are talking about it, because it does not have conviction, it does not have confidence, it will not attract people. But if some other dumb person that genuinely believes in it, if they were to talk about it, they might convince you better because they are more confident, they have more conviction. At the end of the day, confidence and conviction is significantly more important. Now, I'm not saying that part is not important at all. If you are saying something really stupid, for example, I want to build a house in, let's say, on the sun, that's stupid.
That's stupid, yeah.
On Mars, someone's doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and initially, if someone else heard it before, now he's at a very good stage. Someone else, if you were to backtrack this like 10, 15 years ago and he said the same thing, people would be like, he's crazy, he's stupid. Yeah. But now he's a genius.
Really true. I have this thing with Shah Rukh Khan that, I'm a big fan of his. But the thing he said, right, before coming to Bollywood, he went with, he was in Mumbai with his friends. And then after he said, I'll be the king of this city. And then after he became one. And that's a different story, man. That motivates me a lot. And sometimes, I used to do the same thing, that I'll do this and on camera. And then after, if I do it, it's good. If I don't, it's still okay. But even if I, tried. But most of the things that happening is, a lot of people are not even trying, basically due to some whatever the reasons they are or something like that. And I feel really sorry for them. A lot of youngsters, they want to do this, they want to do that, but something doesn't, make sense to them, or, to parents or something like that. Do you know about the attachment types, right? Basically, there are a few attachment types.
4 attachment types.
4 yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I think the 4 are
first is the secure
anxious,
one. Yeah, anxious.
avoidant,
Yeah,
a mix of anxious and avoidant,
yeah.
and secure.
Secure, yeah.
Right? So these are the 4 attachment types. And I feel people that are anxious, they were left when they were a child. Now, what builds anxiousness? What makes you anxious?
Your mom is not
Uncertainty.
around, basically.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a lot of uncertainty growing up, what's going to happen? For example, if someone's going through, someone's parents are going through a divorce, there is a lot of moving around happening. They don't know what's going to happen. Where are they going to stay? They don't know the timings of stuff. When are they going to see their mom, their dad? They're not aware about it. Breeds a lot of uncertainty. Right? That might lead to anxiousness. You having an anxious attachment style. Now, avoidant is you just cutting yourself off from stuff and just avoiding it and focusing on yourself. So that happens when you know the source of problem, you have figured it out and you figured out how to stay away from it. So there were problems growing up in your household, but you were well aware of where these problems were stemming from and how to get away from those problems. And you took that as a course of measure that, okay, as soon as this happens, just get out of house, spend some time away, come back, things are going to be better. Right? You went to home, somebody's fighting, some or the other thing is happening, not the right time to be at home. You go out. Okay, now it's started. Now people are calm. Go back again. This is now becomes a pattern. Now you are an avoidant person. You feel the smallest of problem brewing, you avoid.
I'm off.
Right? And so this is something that gets developed. Secure is when you really have a very secure and stable household, right? And you could trust your parents. If your parents said something to you, it happened. They were logical. They were emotionally aware, right? So they treated you. Your parents were not very impulsive. They had emotional control. As a result, you have emotional control. So when that happens, that is when a person that has a secure attachment style, that is when they are born, or that is how they grow up.
So basically, at what age this will be, forming up? Is it like if you're a 10-year-old, or it just starts when you're born, or what kind of thing?
So I think that is very, as the younger you are, it actually starts as young as when you are a baby.
When you start to understand things, what's going around and stuff.
For example, you're a baby.
Yeah.
You are crying.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming.
Yeah.
Right? So now you will resort to some other means and you will feel, okay, crying is not enough. And let's say you grow up, crying does not produce enough results. You start to, move around and you probably fall off the bed, for example. Now someone comes.
It's registered in the brain.
Now you're like, okay, if I fall off the bed, mom comes, dad comes.
Yeah.
So it starts as young as when you are a baby. Right? And then it can go up and let's say, for example, if you are crying and as soon as you cry, mom comes. Okay, crying is enough. I don't need to fall off the bed. I don't need to break stuff. I don't need to be destructive. Right? So it's as young as that. And then it just goes on and it scales up. The more these behaviors exacerbate, that's where it begins. So it's not even, 5. It happens at 5 too. But it begins as young as, when you're a baby and your mom is feeding or your parents are taking care of you.
So suppose if I'm an avoidant type or anxious type, so can I be secure, or is it like a lifelong journey, or is it like you said you can do it in like 7 days if you think like that?
You can do it at a faster pace. Can you do it instantly? I don't know. Subjective.
Okay.
Right? Can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen anyone do it instantly. But so for example, what Tony Robbins does is that to break a pattern, he attaches immense pain to it.
Like how?
For example, visualization is one way.
Okay.
And something that he did to help people quit smoking is, so he shared the story in his seminar that this guy comes up to him and he's like, I want to smoke. He booked an appointment with him. And he goes there and he sees the guy at the balcony smoking. And he's like, man, come on. It's time to quit. He's like, yeah, just one more drag. And then he takes it, and then Tony looks at him and is like, man, this is bad. Okay, so he asks him to purchase 2-3 cartons of cigarette. And the guy is like, what? 2-3 carton? Bhai, kya karne wale ho? Right? So he purchases those cartons and they are sitting in the room and he's like, okay, so you want to quit smoking? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Light one cigarette up right now. And the guy is like, no, I want to quit smoking. And Tony is like, man, I said light one cigarette up right now. And the guy's like, okay, I'll light one cigarette up. And then he's like, he smokes one. Like, how do you feel? Like, not bad.
Less stressful.
Okay, less stressful. Like, wow, wonderful. Okay. Now, light 2 cigarettes up simultaneously. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, I said light 2 cigarettes up. And then he lights 2 cigarettes up. And then I'm like, do it faster, smoke faster. And then he smokes. And then now he continues this. And now that guy is smoking. Like he has 4 cigarettes in one hand. He's smoking. Smoke it. And now he's coughing. He's coughing and he's spouting, he's spitting and all of that. And he's going through a lot of pain. But because Tony is telling him, and in an aggressive manner, because he doesn't know Tony, this is his first session, and he's being forced to do it. He's feeling a lot of pain, yet he's doing it. And then at the end, he's like, Tony tells him that, you know what, smoke one more. He's like, I don't want to and you can't make me. He's like, well, there you have it.
Intensified, is it like that?
Right? And after that session, he stopped smoking. Because he attached so much pain to that sensation or that thought. And he stayed there for such a long time because he's feeling, and and then he's at a point where he can't take it anymore. And by this time session is done, he has spat a lot of, his saliva is black, literally, when he's spitting out. So that is how bad it got.
Okay.
And then after facing and feeling so much pain, now he attaches pain to smoking. Now he doesn't smoke. Right? So that's one way to change that pattern. Right? Similarly, you can also incorporate neuro-linguistic programming techniques to alter someone's behavior and pattern. So you just, you use visuals, you use audio, you use, feelings, and you use them to attach pain, and you use them to attach pleasure to the right actions and pain to the wrong actions. So if you want to break this pattern, right, you can attach that pain to the bad part of that pattern, and you can attach pleasure to the good part, where that means being secure and actually going to your partner. And your partner can also play a really important role in terms of how they tackle that avoidant part. So if that partner is anxious, now it's going to be a lot of repulsion, push-pull is going to happen. And eventually both of them are gonna, the anxious one suffers more, right? But they still stay in that relationship because that is their comfort zone for them. So a secure person can actually have an honest conversation with any of these, and eventually both of them can then over a period of time become secure. But then the conversation needs to be strong. For example, if I'm avoidant and someone is coming from a space of neediness, that is what the avoidant person wants.
But it triggers the anxious person because
yeah. And that is also something that the anxious person wants subconsciously, not consciously, subconsciously. So they attach themselves to that avoidant person as well. It's always, you will never find an avoidant pair. Avoidant pair matlab aapne ek baar mile, for example, even if it clicked off, then both of you will ghost each other. You will not bother. Right? And anxious mein kya hota hai? Both of you are too available and you are anxious for each other.
Yeah.
So it'll be a spark for a very short amount of time, but then you'll grow out of it. When it's avoidant anxious, now you want to go, but they want to come and they want to feel you go. Right? So that is a chain. So that happens. If it's a secure thing and you go, they'll have a conversation with you. Man, why are you going? Do you not want this? Oh, I want this. Okay, what's up? Right?
Makes sense.
They'll not operate from a space of neediness. Why are you going? Please come back. No. Okay, you went. Okay, cool. Do you want this? Yeah. Cool. Well, let's work it out.
So if you said about critical thinking, right? So how do one develop this?
Let me first emphasize upon the importance of critical thinking, by the way. So critical thinking is really important for you to make right decisions, to understand anything deeply, and to have the right beliefs. So critical thinking is nothing but someone gave you a belief or someone shared a statement with you. Instead of accepting that statement, you ask, is this true? Is this really true? Or can there be something else? Is there any other possibility? For example, someone comes up to me and says to me, man, you are never going to be successful. Is it true? You're telling me I'm never going to be successful?
Watch me.
Why? Right? Why? Because you don't like me. So that is the reason. So everyone you dislike does not become successful. That's stupid. Right? So now I'm not going to adopt that belief. That's a very fundamental layer. That's a very, fundamental explanation of critical thinking. Now you having the ability to go deeper and deeper and deeper by yourself is critical thinking. Right? For example, now let's say I want to make 300 crores a year. Right? Now, can I make 300 crores a year? Well, the answer is, has anyone else made 300 crores in a year? Yes. Well, then you can too. But they came from this background and you came from that background. Okay, cool. Are there people that came from a similar background as me that have made 300 crores? Yes, but they had this skill set. You have this skill set. Right? Okay. So now have people made 300 crores that have come from my background and have this similar skill set? Yes. But they were in this time zone. They were in 2000s or 2010s. You are in. Okay. Are there people that are in this exact era, or even, what is the closest person that to my time that has made this money through doing this thing, have come from the same background, all of that? Do they exist? Yes. Well, then I can do it too. The more similarities you have, if someone else has done it, they possess certain characteristics, you possess those characteristics as well, you can make it. Right? So that's critical thinking. किसी ने अगर मुझे, जैसे ये जो मैंने बताया, ये रोज की बातें हैं कि किसी ने बोला कि ब्रो हम लोग कभी नहीं बन सकते अमीर. किसी ने, कोई दोस्त अच्छे के लिए बोला, क्या कोई और हमारे में से बना है, हमारे बैकग्राउंड में से? हाँ बना है, लेकिन यार उसके पास तो ये था, इसलिए वो बन गया. ठीक है, तो मेरे पास ये है क्या जिसके पास. So it's all about that. It's just about not accepting on the surface. कि उसने बोला मैंने मान लिया, वैसा नहीं. अगर आपने वो कर लिया then you are not employing critical thinking. So it's just you questioning it. Someone tells you this statement, you question it. ठीक है, सही में, सच में, या फिर alternatives है. That's all. The better you are at critical thinking, the more correct beliefs, empowering beliefs you will have. Right? And by the way, सच और झूठ से फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. हो सकता है सच में कि आप वो ना बना पाओ, उस लेवल पे ना पहुंच पाओ, बट अगर आप ट्राई करोगे क्या उसके पास पहुंच सकते हो, तो उसको मानने में बेटर है ना. Believe in that. That's an empowering belief. Right? Does not matter whether it comes true or not. What matters is that in the moment when you believe in it, do you feel empowered? Do you take better actions? Do you take stronger actions? Do you grow faster? If yes, believe in it. As simple as that.
I have a follow-up question on it. Mostly people say that fake it till you make it. How true is that?
Very true.
Very true.
Very true. Because understand this. बच्चा है, चल नहीं पा रहा है. आप उसको बोलो यार तू चल नहीं सकता है, ट्राई मत कर. अब वो क्या करेगा, वो एक्टिंग करेगा, ट्राई करेगा चलने की. उसको चलना नहीं आता है बट वो तो ट्राई कर रहा है. ही इज एक्चुअली फेकिंग इट. ही डजंट नो, ही इज जस्ट ट्राइंग स्टफ. But then you won't stop him, right? You'll be like, you can. And then eventually he does. अब जब आप बोलने का ट्राई कर रहे हो, in the beginning, can you speak? No. बाबा निकलता है. But then eventually you start speaking. Right? If you learn a new language, if you try and learn a new language, do you know that language? You have to learn and then you have to implement it. You don't know it, but you are trying it. Essentially, that's also a part of faking it. Right? And then eventually you try it, and then you make it. So what you are doing when you are implementing faking it till you make it is that you are thinking you already have it and you are acting in that manner. Now, the more you fake it, the better you become. And then instead of it being fake, it actually becomes a part of your identity.
Got it.
I was not a public speaker. Back when I was in college, I was terrible. People told me, bhai, tu mat bol stage. This is not for you. I looked at a lot of other people, what they did. I copied them. Essentially faking it till you make it. I faked it. Now I am an award-winning speaker. Colleges invite me to speak on their stage to teach and educate their students.
Live example, huh?
So, does it work? Absolutely. It works.
So, what about positive reinforcement? Basically, our parents are not taught that. They are more negative. My father used to do the same thing with me. And you won't do this, man. And I was like, I have big goals. So I was like, I'll do this, I'll do that. You are just saying it, but you won't do it. But I feel that a lot of case is the same with every Indian parents. They rather, directly say no to the kids. Yeah, no, you have not the capacity. You don't do it. Sharma ji ka beta kar sakta hai. But why is that, yaar? Why isn't, what does a big role play like positive reinforcement?
It plays a role. There are two sides of this exact situation. Some people respond very positively to these negative things that their father telling them you can't do it. They now want to do it. And they'll do it harder to prove their father wrong. Basically. For example, yeah.
Yeah. Also right? Slang them and he's like, man, now you see me.
Exactly. So these are the people that are anti-fragile. What anti-fragile means is that
you can't break him.
It's not about you can't break him. You try to break him, he will become stronger.
Yeah.
So if you try to, for example, if you do nothing, they are going to stay the same.
Yeah.
But if you try to break them, they will become stronger. So that negativity makes them stronger.
Okay. They're born that way? Or do you develop that?
So it can be adopted and it can be modeled. You can convert someone into an anti-fragile as well, but it generally happens very young though.
Okay.
Usually. Right? Can it be wired? I think it can. I haven't seen live examples, but I believe it can happen if you rewire someone well enough, you do the right things, you incorporate the right mental activities. It can be done. But that being said, I have never experienced or I have never witnessed anyone becoming anti-fragile. Okay. So, but on the other hand, there are people, if you tell them कि नहीं होगा, वो मान लेंगे नहीं होगा. So, which one are you?
Okay.
And if you observe कि जिनके पेरेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं कि तेरे से नहीं होगा, नहीं से, वो दो टाइप के, वो एक या one of two extremes होंगे. They will either become very rebellious and very successful कि आपने बोला नहीं होगा, अब तो मुझे करना है. If you said कि I'm not going to do it, I will do it. I can't do it, I will do it. The other person is like, यार ठीक है, नहीं होगा, okay, मैं दब गया. And I will actually not do it. I will lose my confidence because my confidence is now taken away by him. So it's one of the two. It's subjective. Which one do you become?
Gotcha. I remember one incident when my principal called my parents and they were like, your children won't be doing stuff. He is not good. Just look at him. He's not studying well and stuff. And later on, man, what I realize now is that I completed my studies from like top 20 universities in the world, number one in Australia. And I think that how far I have been. And I'm like that crazy, man, crazy. So beautiful. Very true about it, man. Very true about it. So how do you develop a mindset where people, youngsters can develop that kind of mindset that it's unshakable?
So you want to become unshakable so that whatever happens in your life,
any external events won't affect you basically. You need to be more internal driven, right? Rather than external, because a lot of people say this thing, and you are like, okay, at some point they might be right. They might be right. Something like that.
So I will explain to you 7 levels of designing your life.
Okay.
Let's say at the highest, the outcomes that you are producing, that is level 7. वो सबसे ऊपर है.
Top. Okay.
Top पे. Okay. Whatever you do, it's producing that. For example, and you want to become unshakable. That means if you are unshakable, the outcome that you are going to produce, whatever you decided you want to do, it gets done.
Okay.
That's the outcome. So that's level 7. Level 6 is having an identity that supports that outcome. For example, I want to become a very well-renowned public speaker. That is the outcome that I want. I need to have the identity of a public speaker. I need to say to myself that, okay, you know what? I am an amazing public speaker. Who are you? I'm a speaker. And it's now a part of my identity. That's level 6. Level 5 is what defines an identity? Habits. If you have a habit of smoking, you have the identity of a smoker. If you have a habit of public speaking, you have the identity of a speaker. If you have a habit of podcasting, you have the identity of a podcaster. Right? So habits determine your identities. Now, what supports habits? Actions. The level of actions you take determine your habits. For example, big action towards whatever goal it is that you, for example, purchasing equipment that is expensive for, your podcast, a big level action, right? You will look at it and you will be like, okay, you know what? I need to use it. I've spent a lot of money on it. So eventually it will become a habit. Right? So that's action. Similarly, gym का मैंने example दिया, right? Membership ली या 3 महीने का आपने training program ही subscribe कर लिया. That's a level of action. Hell, will be easier for you to build that habit. Now below that is mindset. Right? Whatever action you take stems from your mindset. Small mindset, small actions. Big mindset, big actions. Mindset is built upon beliefs. Fixed mindset has fixed beliefs. Growth mindset has growth-related beliefs. Your beliefs are built by thoughts. Right? So the thoughts that you repeat to yourself on a very regular basis, they become your beliefs. Okay? So if someone wants to be that unshakable person, begins with their thoughts. Constantly iterate to yourself that I am unshakable. Right? And then take those actions. For example, immediately as soon as you affirm this belief, affirm this thought to yourself, take an action that proves what you said. Do push-ups, go work out, take a massive action, whatever. That is hard, that is difficult. That is where you begin. Right? To exacerbate this, to make this process faster, find people that are like that. Spend time with them. If you were to spend a month with David Goggins, you would grow crazy and you would become somewhat like him. He will have an influence on you and you will become relatively more unshakable because that's his identity, and you will learn from him and you will adopt it. If you surround yourself with people that have that unshakable, going to a community or going to a coach that already has that mindset, that makes that process significantly more easy compared to you trying it on your own, because we learn significantly more and fast from others compared to, when we are on our own. Human influence, human energy is real, and it plays a very important, very big role. So if you can surround yourself by people like that help you progress along these lines faster, you'll be better.
Makes sense. Cristiano said the same thing in an interview, if I remember correctly. He said that a lot of people, say like, he's crazy, he does this kind of things. But I'm not saying to copy me. I'm saying at least do 10% of what I am doing. And you'll have an incredible life. And that's very true. If you cannot, imitate him definitely, but you can learn a lot of things. Like if you become like 5%, 10% more disciplined, then you will have a completely different outcome.
Absolutely.
And discipline is a very tough thing because, motivation, as we said, that it's a very cheap thing. You can get it instantly. And then after discipline, you need to last it longer. So how do you develop that kind of unshakable discipline that, no man, this is my target and I won't eat junk food. I won't do this. Whether, there's a two thing like noise that Steve Jobs used to, had the exercise that there are two things basically. One is noise and second is what you need to do. Signal, yes. So can you elaborate a bit more on that? Signal and noise.
So I think let's talk about discipline first.
Yeah.
Let's talk about decisions first.
Okay.
To decide, the Latin word, right, the root means, to decide means to cut off the alternative. That means if you decided that, okay, you know what, I don't want to be this person, cut them out of your life, delete their number, unfollow them on Instagram, remove them from your Snapchat, whatever. That means you took a decision, right? And then if you reach out to your friend and you ask for the number, that's not deciding.
Got it.
Right. So make it easier for you to do that activity in the beginning, then not doing it by making the right decisions first. For example, you want to be disciplined. Okay, what is your definition of discipline? Working out on a daily basis. Okay, what is the consequence of you not working out? Make it insufferable. If you don't work out, for example, genuinely have a deep conversation with your friend and set a consequence that if I don't work out, there is actual consequence of something is going to happen. You skip the day, you will probably pay him XYZ amount of money, or you will get slapped by him, or you will face some or the other consequence for not doing it. Now, once you do this, doing it now becomes easier compared to not doing it. So this is an example of what you can do. Something else is making the triggers very visual. For example, if you want to work out, keep a dumbbell around you. Right? आपके रूम में पड़ा है डंबल, आप देखते हो उसको, आपको इच्छा होती है, और you set a trigger कि मैं इसको देखूंगा, इस टाइम पे मुझे ये करना है. Right? That's a very small step you are taking. People assume that all or nothing approach. Sometimes works, sometimes does not work. Gradual increment, more often than not, works. कि आपने start किया slowly and you are just constantly focusing on the next level. Right? You're not focusing on just completely shifting your identity. You just think that, okay, what is the next level? You focus on getting to the next level, and as soon as you achieve it, you go to the next level. So that is one way of building it. All or nothing, if someone is there to support you and hold your hand, it definitely works more. But if you don't have an accountability partner, someone that can hold your hand, then gradual increments work better, in my opinion.
Makes sense. And what about the noise and signal thing? How do you stay productive in the entire day? That, these are the signals and this is the noise that I need to completely avoid.
So I'll be honest, I don't say stay productive 100% of the time.
No one does.
Because I have noise. around me as well. जैसे मैंने decide किया कि मुझे सुबह उठ के ये करना है, XYZ करना है, ABC करना है. I have my phone with me. I have my TV in front of me. I have a place that is noiseless. For example, मैं अपने room में गया. I have the study table. वहाँ पे I lock the room. I have my headphones on. Only my laptop screen is on. Laptop screen के ऊपर my to-dos are mentioned. That is a completely noise-free, signal-filled zone for me. So वहाँ पे Instagram मैंने uninstall करके रखा है. समझो मुझे पता है कि अभी ये नहीं खोलना है, क्योंकि it becomes a subconscious habit for you to open Instagram, and तो वो है ही नहीं, तो you'll realize कि ठीक है, subconsciously I'm breaking that pattern, and then you pull yourself back. Okay, so noise तो रहेगा, but then you have to find ways to cut that noise out. People that are really productive and disciplined, they are not, उनके आजू बाजू noise है तो भी वो disciplined है, ऐसा नहीं है. If they have noise around them, they first prioritize cutting that noise out. Distraction है, a productive person will first cut those distractions out कि ये मुझे चाहिए ही नहीं अपने पास, and then they will focus on the signal, whatever that signal may be. If you want to be fit, if someone really wants to be fit, मेरे घर के अंदर चिप्स तली हुई नहीं आएंगी, फेंको इसको. Right? That is the first thing they will do. They will be disgusted by just the sight of it. कि bro ये तुम मेरे घर के अंदर लाए कैसे? How is this over here? So how is this distraction even in front of me? Get it out. I'm a productive person. So first step is cutting out the noise and then focusing on the signal. When you do both of these, things become significantly more smoother.
Makes sense. What I have seen is mostly the people like us, who wants to achieve a lot of things, usually suffers in relationships or something like that, whether it's friendship or love life or something like that, because you're too into one thing. So you have like a different bar, right? Love, friendship, your career and stuff. If you're too high on one thing, then definitely you need to be low on others.
Correct.
So how do you deal with that?
Two ways. Either find someone that will support you in your journey and compliment you, not just support you. So compliment you means you are building something, they are building it with you. That's complimenting you. Supporting you means you are building it, they are just patting you on the back. That's supporting you. Now, in most cases, if you want to be ultra successful, and by the way, if you want to be ultra successful, you have to, and when I say ultra successful in terms of money, when I say billionaire or multi-billionaire, you need to be somewhat broken. If you are really sane, you are good, secure and all of that, it is really hard to become a billionaire, because you will realize that money is not the only thing, and you will focus on other areas of your life. As a result, you will make comparatively less money, because you realize that these are other things that I need to prioritize as well. I want to spend time with my family. I want to do X. I want to do Y. Okay? People that are broken, they use work as a means of coping from that pain. Elon Musk is not 100% sane or secure.
He is not.
There is a battle going on inside of his head all the time. You don't want to be inside his head. Right? So there is a degree of sacrifice, a huge degree of sacrifice. Mr. Beast, not a happy person on the inside. He constantly wants to, right? So that is what happens when you want to be, if you want to be ultra successful, you need to accept that side of you. Okay. But if you don't want to be ultra successful, for example, becoming a millionaire and being balanced is possible, because there are people that do it. Billionaire is also possible. Look at Richard Branson. Right? He's a billionaire that enjoys his life and has maintained that balance as well. He has understood the dynamics of it, and he's a different level altogether though. So most definitely it is possible, but you have to be very intelligent, and luck also plays a really important role in it. So either, right, to answer your question, know what it is that you truly want. Okay? And understand the sacrifices you need to make to get that. And what kind of people do you want to allow in your life that even in their presence, you can still achieve that goal or achieve that dream. Right? If you find those people, wonderful. Keep them with you, build with them. if you can't and you really want to be successful, that you want to attain that level of success, you need to be okay with being imbalanced and not having that part of your life fulfilled. So there is a trade-off that you need to make for sure.
Life is a trade-off, right? Opportunity cost is everywhere, basically.
100%. Yeah. Opportunity cost is everywhere. Yeah.
But as I have seen a lot of biopic, and in most of the cases, the people who have succeed really well, they have like a broken childhood, basically. They have like shit life and they want to get out of it, and somehow, they do this, that, and then after they become successful, it's like a story that is sold everywhere. But why is it like that? Because they have more hunger, or is it something else?
When are you running? When you have a lion behind you, or when you have food in front of you?
Of course, lion behind it, I will be running like crazy. And food, I was like, okay, I can see it. I'll have it later.
You have food served in front of you.
Yeah.
You'll be comfortable. You'll walk slowly.
Yeah.
You have a lion behind you. You will run like hell. Right?
True.
These people that are successful, because of their broken childhood, they have a constant lion running behind them. That lion is the pain that they go through. And to avoid that pain, they run. They run like hell. Which is why they go further than people that don't have a broken childhood, because they don't have a lion chasing them.
But do you think that after a while, basically, if you have achieved a lot of good things, now lion will stop, lion will be your friend. Like, okay, bro, don't worry. You give me meat and I'll be fine.
Practically, yes.
Yeah.
Mentally, the mind does not accept that.
Okay.
For them, it's still, they did not do it to get that outcome. Because to be ultra successful, it will stop after a while. If you just want to be successful. Ultra successful, it continues. So you feel that the lion, is the lion still chasing you realistically? No. But you still feel that it is. You haven't looked back because you've been running for so long, and you just assume that lion is going to be there for your entire life. So you never stop running, and you just chase, and you just run. And the moment you look back and see that there is no lion, you'll stop working as hard.
But Warren Buffett, man, at this age, he's working like crazy. He's still working. But do you think it is really important for mind, because most of people in 60s and 70s, they're more like, oh, now I want to be relaxed and I don't want to work more and something like that. And after, I think that the brain stops working at that level, efficiency level. And after it drops and slowly a lot of bad things happen. Do you think?
I think I heard a story about Warren Buffett every day.
Yeah.
For breakfast. He does McDonald's, right? He doesn't spend lavishly.
Yeah.
He does not, he has this lifestyle build that makes his life significantly more frugal compared to other people that are earning the same amount of money. So I feel that Warren Buffett, is he as sharp as he was? I don't think so.
No.
But still he was so sharp. His blade was so sharp that even if it is duller than before, it is significantly more sharper than any of us. So, मतलब अगर यूसेन बोल्ट बूढ़ा होगा तो भी वो पूरा टाइम मेरे से तो तेजी भागने वाला है.
Of course.
Right? Because he's Usain Bolt. He has. So if the level and the bar you've set is so high, even if you, let's say, something happens or you are not at your prime, but even when you are not at your prime, you are still better and you will still growing, and it does not happen कि आप एकदम you were a world record holder and then suddenly now you are the slowest person on earth. I mean, unless you went through an accident, that's not going to happen naturally.
Very true.
Right? So I think because of that, he has that momentum going for him. And he just wants to stay there, and he has that hunger, in my opinion, that makes him want to still chase it down. That's my take on it.
Because see, Cristiano, man, at 40, he's unstoppable. Do you watch football?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Okay.
But I've seen glimpses.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen his interactions with speed and a lot of other stuff. So yeah.
Which sport do you watch basically when you're
I like basketball.
Basketball. So you're a Jordan fan or...
So I have a Kobe Bryant. So this is the Kobe Bryant logo.
Okay, the Mamba one.
Yeah, this is the... right? And I'm a die-hard Kobe fan.
Bro, he inspired a lot, man.
Absolutely.
Our generation, definitely.
And Kobe Bryant was the closest thing to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right?
So Michael trained him basically.
Basically. I mean, maybe not like in a one-on-one scenario, but Kobe literally looked at him and modeled his game
just like him.
Yeah.
And
right?
Michael said that if you have some questions, man, definitely you can call me at any time.
So
a great mentorship too.
Absolutely. And it was crazy. And the reason I like Kobe Bryant more than I like Michael Jordan is because the work ethic and the mentality that he displays.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Jordan was like, you know, he was not gift. He was obviously hardworking as well.
Yeah.
But the aura that he portrayed was like, man, you know what? I'm just better.
Yeah.
Even though he was working really hard, the aura that he portrayed, I'm just better. It's just in me. Kobe Bryant was very upfront about it. I work my butt off.
When you start the training, he's there. When you left the training, he's fucking still there.
Exactly. So that is why I prefer Kobe, because he's very upfront about the work ethic that he puts in. And he's like, you know what? No, it takes effort. It is not just in me. If I stop working hard, it will go down. So he has that, you know, he shares that. So that's something that I really like about him.
What I see in the top achievers, right? If it's a team sport, like you're building a team, then you need someone who can hold you at that level. Like Michael did with his team, Chicago Bulls. Because everyone was like here and there and beaten. He used to come together. No, man, you need to do like that. You need to play your A game. Why not getting out of it? Come on, man. He used to shout at people and they were like, yeah, man, okay. Michael is now very upset. I need to improve my game. And then after sometimes, you know, when it was the baseball phase, you know, he started baseball and stuff and he was not that good, but he had that spirit. No, I will do it. And after then he came back to basketball and still he showed that, you know, I can win championship, man. Whatever. If I lost some muscles, no worries. But I'm still as sharp as I was.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And people that perform at the highest level, they have that mindset. You know what?
Any field, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can do it. And even in baseball, it's not like he was playing bad.
No, he was playing good.
In the beginning, when he started off, maybe he was not that good. But he got to a very good level.
Yeah.
And if he wanted, right, he could have crossed that threshold and he could have become one of the greats in baseball as well. Maybe not as great as people that are in the Hall of Fame.
And Baby Ruth and stuff, no, but still.
Right, but still very freaking close because he had that dog in him. He had that mindset in him. So it just translates in everything. He took his brand, Jordan brand.
To another level, man. No one can still do it.
Right, so it's not limited to basketball. It translates to the real world as well. And he's doing it.
Why do people love this kind of things? You know, people are more inclined towards that top achiever. Like, you know, I want to be friends with him. I want to do that because they don't have that thing in them. So that's why they want to validate, or what's going on?
I feel it's about wanting to. So I think there are two takes to this. Number one is really admiring someone and just being in their presence and being inspired by it. That's number one. Number two, just wanting a piece of their status. And man, I was with Michael Jordan, or I was with, you know, Shah Rukh Khan, getting a picture, XYZ, ABC, I met him. Status.
Got it.
Real person that is actually inspired, someone that is really inspired by that person. Presence से ज़्यादा observation के ऊपर वो focus करेंगे. Okay, why does this person do this? Why does this person do that? Shah Rukh Khan, how does he communicate? What are the fundamentals behind him? How can I make some of it? You know, how can I incorporate some of it in me? That is what people that are really inspired by someone do. So that's my take on it.
Got it. Do you think people live in extremes nowadays? Because someone, if you look at America itself, man, people who are fat are like obese, and people who are fit are like never before. So do you think that that's true?
I think that's what's visible.
Okay.
Because extremes are more observable and visible than something that's in the middle.
Okay.
So I don't think it just looks that way. Because, man, if I am moderately obese, you will not observe me compared to someone that's very obese. If I'm moderately fit, you will not notice me compared to someone that's super fit. So what's being noticed is the extreme.
Extremes.
Because that's how the world works. That's how attention gets drawn. But I don't think that these two are the only things that are happening. I think there is a lot that's happening in the middle as well. But relative to before, because these extremes are now more prevalent than ever, it is a little more extremist than before. But it's not like the middle does not exist. It still exists, just not as much as it used to.
Okay, makes sense. Do you think comparison nowadays has become a like evil thing? Because anyone, if I see a bodybuilder, if I see a good physique, I'll like, man, this is so good and stuff like that. And
why is that an evil thing? It's subjective, na?
It's subjective, definitely. But nowadays we are living in comparison mind because from the birth, basically, your parents used to compare someone, mine do, see this kid, see how he's doing, and see what are your grades, and I'm like, okay, no worries. So that's how we are born, right? Basically, Indian mentality. That's what I'm saying.
Now subjective, right? What do you want out of life? Do you want to be happy, and you just want to cut out yourself from the general society? Go live in the wild. Go to the Bahamas or somewhere or the other.
Mountains or something. Yeah.
Mountains. Spend your life with them. They'll not compare as much. But you will be happy for sure. Have a good lifestyle. Right? Make some money. Go there. No comparison. Do you want that? Most people don't.
Very true.
Most people want that comparison, and they are okay with it. And at a certain level, they are driven by it too. I look at someone's Instagram account and I see them having 100,000 or 1 million followers or whatever, and I see them growing in front of me. I was like, man, I want to do something like that too. Is that comparison? Yes. Is it good necessarily? No. Does it drive me? Yes. As long as so for example, if it's consuming my entire presence and I'm unhappy all the time because of this, then it's a bad thing.
Toxic nahi hona chahiye, basically, yes.
Right? But if it drives me, it motivates me to do better. What is wrong with it?
Nothing. I used to do the same thing, man. So recently, there are a lot of podcasters who I follow and watch their videos, basically, and some of them are doing really great right now. They started like few years ago, and now they are at the top. And I'm like very proud of them, basically, not as a competitor but as the viewer, that like this guy is doing so good. I want to be at that level. I want to go global. I want to do podcasts in US or some other countries. I want to meet that kind of people, not just limited to India. So it in a sense it inspires me. But if it backfires in some way that what are you doing, man? See, you are just having podcasts like this and that. It's a bad mentality. But that's very right that you said. It's a subjective thing, and it depends on how you personally take it. It makes a lot of sense. Any book recommendations for people who wants to be at that level? Like,
so what level? Yeah, you'll have to clarify.
Okay, the top achievement thing, like top 1%. Suppose in like productivity, no, not productivity, but what do we say? It's self-help book, something that you recommend in that genre. Yeah.
So let's say if someone is watching this and they want to live a better life, right? And they want to become more successful. So first and foremost, they need to understand how to build an identity and how to build habits.
Okay.
When I say build habits, don't just read Atomic Habits. Sure, read it. But more than reading it, implement it. Right? Think, create a notebook, create an action plan. As soon as you read the first page, take action immediately. Right? So Atomic Habits is, for example, the first book, or Atomic Habits or The Power of Habit. I would recommend Power of Habit over Atomic Habits, right? Because it's simpler and it's a little more, it's different. And I've heard a lot about it as well. Atomic Habits is significantly more well marketed, but Power of Habit is also really nice. So I would recommend Power of Habit and incorporate that. Apart from that, if money is your thing, you want to understand principles, you want to have your eyes opened, try The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. It helps you understand what exactly is it that you need to do, what path you need to have to actually become rich, right? There are 3 paths. Sidewalk, which means you are not investing your money, you're not doing a business. If you do that, you don't save, you will never become rich. Then it's the slow lane. Slow lane means you are doing the job, you're doing your job, and you are investing on the side. SIP khol liya, kuch kar liya. You will become rich eventually. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Right? Then there is the fast lane. What is fast lane? Becoming an entrepreneur or providing value to the world at scale, building money trees. Right? What's a money tree? A thing that you plant once and then it continues to give you returns. For example, a course, if you create that, it provides value to the world. It's a money tree. You might need some sort of maintenance, but essentially it's a money tree. A book, if it's really well done, it's a good money tree, right? J.K. Rowling still earns through Harry Potter. She wrote the book once, does not write it again and again, still earns money.
Like the podcast training.
Right, podcast as well. Podcasts work too.
After 5 years, if someone's still watching this video, hopefully I'll make some money.
So that's The Millionaire Fast Lane. Apart from that, there was this one more book, The Millionaire Master Plan. Right? Let's say if you are very broke and you want to go to the top level, there are literally 9 levels of wealth, right, that are talked about in that book, and also based on your personality type. If you are, so there are 4 types of personalities. Which one are you? Based on that, your personality type and your wealth level. Combine both of these things, and where you are, you'll be able to find that out, and where do you want to go. So all of that is mentioned in the Millionaire Master Plan as well. And apart from that, if it's mindset, you can try Don't Hurt Me by David Goggins and a lot of other books. Hard Thing About Hard Things. These are some books that can help you in the realm of mindset. And if you want to do something metaphysical, meditation related, that can still transform your life. How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza and Tony Robbins. A lot of his work can also inspire you. Watching his courses can also inspire you. So these are some of my recommendations.
Thank you, man. Thank you for a recommendation. How many books do you read basically in a month or something? Do you have a fixed?
Initially, it was like 2 to 3 books a month.
Okay.
Now it has dropped down to 1 book.
Okay.
Now I'm more focusing on action than education.
Okay.
I'm just in that phase. So I like taking action more than I like educating myself at this moment. I still continue to educate myself. I went to the reading room. So there's this thing in Ahmedabad called the reading room, wherein you sit for 1 hour and you read with other people and then you network after that. Yeah. So I did visit there as well. I read at home as well. Phone mein bhi chalo Kindle hai. So but pehle I had dedicated time to read. Ke subah ka 1 ghanta read karna hai. Now it's not like that. Okay. And I think that is how it should be. Because then you have a lot of knowledge, but then you're not showcasing yourself. The world does not know about you. Right? What's the point of that knowledge? If you have that knowledge, take action. Don't just... So that's also a form of mental masturbation. That you're consuming knowledge and you're not taking action. So I was doing a lot of mental masturbation as well. I gathered all of this knowledge. I was doing nothing with it. So that's not how it should be.
Do you think, how do we retain this kind of knowledge? Because if you read a chapter of the book, right, suppose, and after a while, it sits in your mind and you forget about it. But how do you keep retain it? Basically, you just need to rethink it again and again, or...
Retention is a result of emotion combined with information. So if whatever information you are reading, it has no emotion attached to it, you will not retain it.
Very true.
For example, if you are reading a book for the sake of reading a book and you are not actually reading it with your heart, you attach no emotion to it, you will not retain it. it's better that you don't read that book, do something else. Okay, but let's say you actually retain that information through adding some sort of emotion to it. जैसे आपने ये किया, and then you actually put in some effort, right? For example, you write it down. That's also, effort is also a form of emotion. Or you do it and you are doing it in a way that makes you happy. For example, आप Starbucks गए, आप पीते पीते वो पढ़ रहे हो. You will retain that information significantly better, right? As opposed to you doing something else, So, for example, you don't remember your entire life, but you do remember very happy moments. You do remember very sad moments. Highlights आपको याद रहते हैं. Similarly, if you are studying, you will retain not everything, but those parts that you find really interesting, you will definitely retain.
Very true. But what I think mostly is that people forget about the happy parts of their life, happy moments of their life at some point, and sad parts still remains with that. They know that what happened at that day. Is it with everyone? Is it just me?
They're just focusing on the sad part more than the happy part.
Okay.
You need to literally take out time and think, what was the happiest moment for you in this week, in this month, in this year, in this quarter? Because both of them are there. What's sad is there. What's happy is also there. Both of them are there for choosing. But your subconscious mind has a habit of choosing
the negative ones.
The negative ones.
Yeah.
So naturally वो होगा. But आप channel करोगे तो ये भी है ही. So happiness is literally a habit that you need to inculcate. Automatically नहीं होगा. आपको literally channelize करना पड़ेगा. And then it becomes a habit, because naturally mind has a tendency to go towards the negative only.
Makes sense. And you need a lot of habits to unlearn, right? So basically, if you are 21, 22, you have learned a lot of things that you need to unlearn later on. So how do you tackle that?
A lot of the times what happens is that people unlearn a habit without actually replacing it with the right one.
Okay.
जैसे for example, cigarette, I want to quit. ठीक है. What are you going to do instead?
Drink a bottle of water if you are feeling like I want to smoke.
If you have decided that,
yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, and आपको वो urge आया, and you are thinking कि नहीं मैं बस इसको resist करूँगा, क्योंकि आपने उसकी जगह पे कोई alternative habit create करने का नहीं किया है.
Okay.
So eventually it will eat you up and you will start smoking. But you decided कि नहीं यार ये नहीं किया, every time this happens I will replace this with water. अभी urge आया, नहीं ये नहीं करना है, पानी पी लिया, ठीक है पानी पियो. Now you are not focusing on that, you are focusing on पानी पियो.
Okay.
So because of that, now that you have created an alternative that you are feeding into, right? Because it will both happen simultaneously. Maintenance नहीं होता कि आप बस ये नहीं करोगे, नहीं ये नहीं करोगे तो और क्या करोगे. So do both, कि ये नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक कुछ productive कर रहा हूँ, and that is how it gets balanced.
Got it. Makes sense. What do you think about anxiety? Like, is it a recurring thing in our generation, or it used to be, but the older generation didn't take that seriously, or what?
I think older generation dismissed it. कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. Because of that, it did not build up. And I feel as a result, people were happier. Now we feed into it. Oh, your anxiety, anxious. Oh, it's okay. Attention diya. Subconscious felt happy. It realized मैं anxious होऊंगा, मुझे लोग attention देंगे. And then it made it a habit. Right? That's one that might happen to a lot of people. Does it always happen? No, not necessarily, but a part of it. Right? A part of the reason why it has grown so much. Right? So because we treat it as a thing and we feel कि इसको, and also the Western society also has a huge role to play in it, the capitalism part.
How?
Oh, take this medicine. They want to make money off of you.
True.
Right? So, oh, you're anxious. Take this. Cure the symptom. Long term, it comes back again because you haven't addressed the root cause. It's just surface level. Take it again. Keep taking it. Keep giving me the money. I'm happy. Right? So that's also, capitalism has a huge role to play in this.
But we cannot change anything from that, right? Basically, it's already set.
The world, no. Maybe not. Yourself, yes.
Do you think that we are too safe kind of generation because we had everything, just a click?
We are comfortable for sure. Safe तो क्या ही है?
But वैसा नहीं है ना कि अपने मतलब ग्रेट ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स या ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स वॉर में थे बेसिकली 1947 के पहले का जो दौर था वो काफ़ी डिफरेंट था एज कम्पेयर टू व्हाट वी आर लिविंग राइट नाउ, राइट? सो दे हैड दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग यार कि भाई it's everything figured out and we are like still a छोटा सा कुछ हुआ then we are crying about it, यार ये हो गया हाथ में, वो हो गया XYZ.
So we are sure, I mean, if you look at it from that manner, yes. But then we have our own battles. We have our own health and mental issues. हमको सांस ढंग की नहीं मिलती है. हमको attention पे अपने काबू करने में इतना टाइम लगता है बिकॉज ऑफ डिस्ट्रैक्शंस इतने ज्यादा है, मेंटल प्रॉब्लम्स इतने बढ़ गए हैं. सो वी हैव आवर ओन बैटल, वी हैव आवर ओन फाइट. So I wouldn't say we are safer. It's a different kind of battle that our generation is fighting. It's a battle nonetheless. Is our battle physically
challenging?
As challenging as them? Absolutely not. But that does not mean that it's not a battle.
Of course. So what kind of things the youngsters are going right now, like around 12, 14 years? Do you interact with them, right? So what are their problems? When you compare, you're like at 14, I didn't have that kind of things, man. And now this kind of people, youngsters are having it.
Most of the time, what I've observed is just them wanting to indulge themselves in some sort of an activity. PS5 खेलना है, ये हो गया, XYZ ABC, या फिर कुछ उनको चाहिए था वो नहीं मिला. These are very basic small things that when you compound they become massive. अब कुछ cases, very extreme cases मैंने observe किया है कि चलो ADHD है, बच्चा सुन नहीं रहा है, लेकिन my classes are designed in such a way that I force them to think critically and they have to answer me constantly. They are constantly in that thinking mode. So because of that, it's different. But I have observed instances कि बच्चा आया and बैठ ही नहीं रहा है, वो मैं सिखा रहा हूँ उठ के मेरे पास आ जा रहा है कि, and in the middle of the class I've told him कि you can't do that, but it happens and all of that. Because that's a problem that he's struggling with. So अभी तो कुछ नहीं होगा in terms of consequences. What are the nothing. What are long-term consequences? Massive. How will he pay attention? How will he learn anything? So these are the things that young minds are currently struggling with, and if channelized well, they can turn into very magnificent beings. If ignored and if we just let them be, automatically what they are going to do, what they are going to consume is going to be a downward spiral. So we need to be very mindful of it.
Australian government has that thing, if I'm not wrong, it's like if you are like 15, you cannot access social media. Under 15, no.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, because right now your social media is playing a very critical role in our life, and people are still, scrolling away and everything and not staying a lot of productive. So in that way, I guess it's good.
That's wonderful. That's an initiative, I think, that should be taken over here too.
India, a lot of things need to be taken care of, man.
100%.
Yeah, let's start with air first and then after.
100% agree, man. Air is like people are literally leaving Delhi because of
protests are going right now, big protests.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah.
But I know I've heard that permanent blackishness, like lungs are turning permanently black because of the air quality in Delhi.
You are like, if you're not a smoker, but you're still smoking 20 cigarettes if you're leaving them, and it's so crazy. And I made a deliberate decision coming back because I had a comfortable life there in Australia. And I was like, it's pretty much good. The air quality is good. The life quality is good. Food is good. Everything is good. But I had that kida in me that, I want to go back and I want to do something for my country and something like that. A much more naive thing at that point, but I still had that delusional thing that, somehow I'll make it happen. And the small step is, just starting this podcast and educating people, in that way, and slowly building the base, the cult base. And at some point, we can have a crazier impact, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It was lovely talking to you, man. You are such an amazing person, man.
Thank you so much for having me, Kathan. And I have mutual feelings for you. I had a wonderful time. And you're a wonderful host. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries, man. I see you in the next one then.
Absolutely.
At my studio.
Absolutely. Looking forward.
No worries, man. Thank you.
Thank you.